Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of the Neverending Train. I am Kai, your DM for the day, and here to cause as much chaos as they possibly can, considering how the last couple of games have gone. We have three wonderful players. Would they like to go down the list and introduce themselves and their characters? Starting with you, Ali.
Hello, I'm AliOaks, or Ali as people call me here. And I will be playing Whis. I've already played him in one Neverending Train game and it was super fun. I don't know if I should describe him well. He's a cyan bunny.
We love him. It's like just a bright blue rabbit. It's very good.
Yeah, I don't know. Where should I put his reference again? Or
feel free to stick it in. Yeah, feel free to stick it in the game zone. Just so people can kind of get an idea.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, it's all right if people don't have references for their characters, because I know not everyone can do art, but it is good to do a quick description. In that case, while that's going on, Respawn, you're up.
Hello, I am Respawn. I am playing as Bubba Rizzo, a significantly tall Cajun mafia member, crocodile man, who wears a nice suit and is no stranger to a good brawl. I don't have much more for description about him. That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's a pretty good description. And last but certainly not least...
Hi, I'm Whis. I'm going to be playing Selli. I'm so stoked. She's not going to be having a good time, but I'm excited.
You've been trying to get onto the train for how long now?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Well, welcome. You are here. Time to traumatize your characters.
Hooray!
Before we begin, considering that all three of you previous to this were pretty much brand new to the train, can I get D20 rolls from the three of you to figure out like how much you've managed to find out throughout how long it's been since the last episode you were in, or since you first arrived? That's a 15 from Selli. A nat 20 from I'm bad with names today. Ali, what is the names of your character again? I'm so fucking sorry. Iaz, that was it.
Yes.
And a 16 from Bubba. Alright, those are some pretty good rolls. With that, all three of you do actually have managed to figure out a fair bit. So all of you now know, for basically as certain as you can, you are currently on a train. It's a really weird, really big, magical train. But it's definitely a train, because if you put your ear to the ground, you can actually hear the sound of the engine in the distance. Some carriages you're in, the engine sounds really far away. Other carriages you're in, it sounds a little bit closer. So you've also managed to all figure out that as you're going through these doors, it's not just going from one carriage to the next. You're kind of teleporting back and forth along the length of this train. And with that nat 20, Iaz, you've also managed to actually figure out that, while you're on a train, there's weird magic going on. You've also made the discovery in one carriage that you've been in since your last game that was very open air. You've gotten far enough that you've encountered like the walls of the world at times. Although considering how things went in your last carriage, I don't think that's too much of a revelation. Do you want to describe for our wonderful listeners quite what happened in the pigeon/broken carriage?
Summarize it. He is.
Oh, Ali, you're glitching out a fair bit.
Robot.
Oh.
You're still there?
Is it okay now?
Yeah, that's better.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Sometimes the mic just works this way. So Iaz and the other two birds, two tunes, were trying to fix the exit door, but in the end they broke everything.
Like literally everything. A rock got dropped down through a crack in the world, and kind of just the entire carriage imploded.
Yeah, all space and time of this train was seen as if.
So I think that is a wonderful explanation of that 20. As you guys arrive in this next carriage, again, we're still kind of in the setup of things. How long has it been since either we last saw you or you first arrived? We'll go down the list and kind of just, so Ali, again, back to you. How have you been going? How long has it been? What's on your mind? How are you feeling?
Since time work train, you actually know how much time has passed, but ES feels like it's been a month or a month and a half.
Yeah, that
maybe
feels like a long time, yeah.
He's getting a bit frustrated, but it's not like he can't do anything about it. He's just trying to push on forward until this ends and he can go on with his life.
I love how resilient he is. I really do, because a month is a very long time to be trapped in this unending cycle of carriage after carriage after carriage. Bubba, how are you doing?
I think when he originally appeared on the train for the first session, he'd been on there roughly a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
I say let's stick to the pattern, and it's been roughly another week.
Yeah, fair enough. So it's starting to feel like a pretty long time, but not like unending long time. How is he going mentally?
A bit of mental exhaustion, like the kind where he sleeps, but he wakes up and still feels kind of tired of the whole thing.
Yeah, that's
But it's
fair.
not ending, so, you know.
Yeah, the fact, like, getting to the point of actually wanting to sleep on the train, because the thing is, whenever you pass through one of those doors, it's like the equivalent of a instant long rest. So yeah, that's tiredness without the physical exhaustion sure is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Selli, how are you going?
Selli is not really enjoying this entire process. She's only really been through one other carriage, but she's not used to this kind of thing. Like she is used to living in a grand manor house kind of thing. She's not an adventurer, and she's kind of been thrust into this, so she's really out of her element. So by the time she gets to here, she's a bit frazzled. She's tired. She's like, I don't know what's going on, and I don't like it.
Oh dear, so we're starting off with everyone in amazing spirits. What a way to begin things. And I'm not even going to make you roll perception checks to begin with, because as the three of you step through whatever carriage door you were just in, and you step out of this last one, you notice that all three of you step out of the big red door at the same time, and I'm going to need actually dexterity checks to see how you guys go in terms of not turning into a big toon ball.
Oh, brilliant. So a saving throw?
Saving throw, yep.
Beauty. She's great at those.
That's a 10 from
That's
Selli. Also,
honestly, that could have been close.
I do apologise to listeners if you hear any slurping noises. That's me enjoying the last cup I'll ever have of my favourite tea. Because they stopped selling it, and I'm very sad.
Oh.
An 18 from Bubba, and a dirty 21 from Eaz. Nice. Okay, with that, Bubba and Eaz, you managed to kind of as soon as you two realize that there is someone else coming through the door with you, you were smart enough to kind of edge off to the side, and you luckily enough manages to edge off to opposite sides. And so you guys stay in your feet, you are entirely, unharmed, you do not fall flat on your face on the floor, you're all good. Selli, on the other hand, the surprise of having come out through the door with these two other people means that, you wind up with two left feet and you trip over yourself and splat on your face. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, she just sort of slumps a little bit. It's like, yeah, that was dignified.
On the other hand, this is the first time you've come through, admittedly you're still very new, but you've just come through a door with two other people, which is something that didn't happen before.
She sort of will push herself up onto her knees and give herself a little bit of a dust off and glance at the two of them. It's like, oh, hello. Oh, there are people here. Okay.
Greetings.
Hi.
Bubba will take a big crocodilian hand out of one of his pockets and hold it out for a handshake. Name's Bubba Rizzo. Nice to meet you.
She will accept it and shake it very timidly. It's like, oh, I'm Selli Alamos. Thank you. Very pleasant to meet you too.
And you? Addressing everyone.
Yes. He just nods his head. Or how do you say that in English? Goodness, sorry. He just nods.
Yeah. Oh, no, you said it perfectly fine the first time. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think with this point, I will actually, again, I'm not going to make you roll a perception check unless you absolutely want to, but I will flat out tell you the three of you have landed in a plain white room with two plain white doors on the opposite side of the room from where the big red door you came through is. Sorry, wait, not two. Three. So there's, basically, it's really boring. There's not really much to see. It's just white. Things seem to be lit despite there not really being any visible lights. Everything's kind of like there's this very faint glow, so shadows are kind of weird. And it's just plain white room, 3 doors. That's it.
Well,
this seems relatively straightforward.
I mean, I don't trust it.
Yes, would try to look at the big red door they came from because that was weird. That was unusual.
What do you mean unusual? Because, like, again, you've gone through several carriages now. I suppose, this is the first time you've come through a door with someone, but, no, because Iaz was, before. You have come through the door with someone before in your previous carriage. This is just kind of, this is unusual, but not impossible.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Well, then Iaz would try to go forward to the 2 white doors.
All right, sorry. There's 3 of them. You've got one on the left, in the middle, and on the right. Which one do you want to go for?
Just closer to the doors. See if it's possible or if there's some invisible maze or something.
Yeah, it's perfectly possible. You can walk over to the other wall of the room just fine. There doesn't seem to be anything stopping you.
Selli's going to kind of straighten her dress slightly and she's sort of going, well, I suppose if it's that easy, I'm not going to say no and follow after.
It's never that easy. I know. It's never that easy. There's a catch.
Bubba will follow along with him because obviously doesn't want to see anyone get hurt.
I love how protective Bubba is. It's really, really good. Between everything with Colin and the last time, it's just like, yes, these are 2 small creatures must protect.
These are 2 small, very innocent-seeming creatures that differ greatly from my time in the Mafia. I don't feel like I want to see them get hurt.
I love it.
I mean, Selli's not particularly tall either. She's only 4 feet tall.
Yeah. But does anyone want to do anything? You can get to the other side of the room just fine, and it's not a very big room. It's just big enough to kind of have these 3 doors spaced out along one wall.
Do they look like, have they got handles or are they more like a sci-fi self-opening door?
They've got like silver leather door handles.
I have a question.
Yeah?
Is there any difference in size between the doors? And if so, what is the size or sizings?
No, they are all exactly the same size. And like they would be considering that your height, Bubba. They're kind of pretty average in that you probably have to duck through them a little bit. But they are kind of average sized doors.
Fair enough. Well, I don't know much about magic doors other than that I don't trust the ones in this place, so, any thoughts?
What other choice do we have?
I love how
Do we
suspicious
just
everyone
try?
is.
Well, Selli hasn't quite learned to be inherently suspicious, so while she's tired, she's not completely out of it. So she's going to go and try the handle for the door in the middle.
In the middle? Okay, can I get are you just going to try the handle and open it up? Yeah.
You're just going to sort of wiggle it, see if it's locked. And then, like, if it's not and she can actually turn it, she's just going to push it open just a crack.
Yeah, it opens up really easily as just like, any average door. As you open it up a crack, though, can I please get a Constitution saving throw?
Yeah, you can. At least she's got a plus in that.
Okay,
Nice.
Dirty 20. With that, you are hit. Like, the moment you open it up, even a millimeter, you are hit with the most atrocious, sickening smell you could ever imagine. You take, like, fucking rotting swamp and vomit and, like, post-curry farts all at once, and then you multiply that by about 1,000 and it hits you right in the face.
And she's pulling the door shut. That's worse than my brother's room.
Bubba's going to take his hat off and just kind of fan it around a bit.
Yeah, probably for the best. Thankfully, do you close? Yeah, as soon as you shut the door again, the smell does cut off. There's that little bit of, like, vague lingering scent, but it more or less stops.
That wasn't pleasant. Oh, my eyes are watering. Oh, aye, she's only got one.
Thank goodness you haven't fainted. Yes, takes off his
that was
hat and
something.
starts waving it around to get rid of the smell.
I want Bubba and Iaz to just, like, fancy hats club.
Yeah.
Well-hatted gentlemen. Well, gentlefolk. Anyways. Well,
Do we want to open the other two doors?
I mean, if you want to pick one, I'll take the other.
Do we do that at once or
Probably one at a time to be safe.
okay? Then I'll do the left one.
Alright, one on the left. That's... Yeah. As soon as you open it again, just even a crack, can I get a wisdom saving throw from you?
Sure.
It's always fun getting to do this. Like, again, I said I loved how suspicious you guys were being. You were correct to be suspicious. Alright,
Yeah.
that's a 16. Alright, you open it a crack, and there doesn't seem to be any sort of, like, immediate danger or bad smell or anything coming through it. So you kind of lean over and you peer through the crack, and then I do have to ask, Yaz, what is your greatest fear?
Oh, that's never a good question.
Mm.
Ooh. Well, that would be something metaphorical, like losing his friends or something.
Okay, I think then for a second, what you see, considering again, PG-13, these are toons, and if we were seeing this on a screen, there's only so far we can go. What you do see is like the arm of one of your best friends, someone that you know, and you would recognize their arm instantly. You just see their arm kind of on the floor before the shoulder can kind of hit off screen, and you just see a slowly growing pile, like a puddle of red ink on the floor there.
He instantly closes it. With a terrified expression.
Yeah, with that 16, you thankfully do not actually take any like psychic damage or anything from that, but it's certainly not a fun thing to see.
Don't open this door. Just don't.
Alright. Well, guess that leaves the right door for me. I will go up, put his hand on the right door, just kind of prop it open a little and crouch down to get at eye level with it.
Okay. With that, can I get a dexterity saving throw from you?
Oh, splendid. I'm good at those. But there's always the potential I'm going to roll really bad. So we'll see.
Nothing can save you from a crit fail, sadly.
Exactly.
That's a
Hey.
21. What the fuck?
Nice.
Yeah, all three of you have been astoundingly lucky. And, Bubba, this might be just because this is the third door, so you are being incredibly cautious. The moment you open it up a crack and then just, like, peer your head around, you get this moment of poof, and, like, you hear the whole poof, 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 and you duck your head back and you see multiple little poison darts come shooting through that shooting towards you through that tiny gap, and you slam the door shut again. And thankfully your reflexes were fast enough that none of those darts managed to get through the door, and you hear them tuk, 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 on the other side of the now closed door, and you are safe, don't worry.
Oh my goodness.
Bubba's gonna pull a single dart out of his hat and toss it aside. Well, I don't think any of these doors are good decisions, to be quite honest.
Oh dear, that's... And there's nothing else in here.
There is supposed to be an exit door. A closed, but an exit door.
Is the door we came through still here?
Yep, it's still in the wall behind you.
I'm gonna go check that.
Yeah. What are you checking for? Just seeing if it's unlocked, or?
Just seeing if I can open it, yeah.
Yeah, you give the handles a rattle and they are locked solid. Sorry.
Alright. I wouldn't put it past this crazy train to do a double back on us.
Almost. I almost did that and then I changed my mind.
Well, we got 4 doors, one of which don't work, and the other 3 are dangerous. What are we gonna do?
Maybe look for a secret hidden door. This room is suspiciously plain. Maybe there is something in the walls or in the floor.
It's a fine idea.
Maybe. Selly's
Yes,
going to walk
sir.
over to a piece of piece of wall in between some of the doors and just sort of knock on it to see if it sounds hollow.
Yeah. Roll me investigation for that. And you won't need to roll too high to get information. If you other two want to just look around the room, roll me investigation or perception, your choice.
I'm gonna roll perception, but I'm gonna wait for them to finish first.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
now I'll go.
Yeah, with that 11... Oh dear. I'm sorry, Bubba. That was
Oh.
a crit fail. But yeah, no, with that 11, Selli, yeah, you give the wall a knock, and it just sounds like it's like solid wall. Like there's very little reverberation, even with your ear right up next to the wall. Like you can't really hear as if there's anything behind it. It's not like knocking a solid brick wall, but you're certainly not getting any information from what's going on behind. With that 1 for perception from Bubba,
The walls look like the ceiling looks like the floor, and the floor looks like the walls.
I was gonna say, I think from because I did say before that like everything has this very slight glow to it. I think you get thoroughly distracted by the fact that shadows aren't working right in this room, and you kind of spend a while like trying to figure out where the light source is coming from, and you don't know. So why are shadows looking like this, or why are they just no shadows? And you just kind of wind up feeling very dizzy and confused.
I've made a startling discovery. This room doesn't allow for shadows, and I don't know why.
Selly sort of looks at the ground to sort of confirm this. Oh. That is bizarre.
And yeah, Iaz, what are you up to?
Trying to touch the walls to see if there's anything. I roll perception.
Yeah, okay. Oh wait, yeah, sorry, I completely skimmed past your roll there. It didn't go in my head. But yeah, with a 13, as you're looking around, yeah, I think you kind of get the feeling that, like, the walls either side of you, like, to the left and right of the room, they are very solid. You kind of skim your hand across and they have the same sort of feeling as the walls that you have discovered in other places of this carriage. There's that extra little feeling of like, yep, that's definitely solid. Ditto with the wall that the red door is attached to. But when you get to the wall with the 3 doors, you can just about feel that, like, you get the sense that there is something more past them, that this is not like the solid edge of a carriage, but you have no idea what else is going on.
It really doesn't look like we have many options, does it?
Not really.
Which
Well-
room is the safest to go through if there is a way to go through?
Possibly the
Yeah.
smelly room. Well, I
Maybe.
mean, that one seemed to have poison darts. And you didn't seem to be very fond of whatever happened in the other door.
Carriage. Smelly carriage it is? Smelly door.
Yeah.
Smelly door.
I mean, I'm pretty certain of my ability to get past the darts, but I wouldn't risk either of you on that, so.
Wait a second. If we decide to go through the smelly room, is it better to protect our noses and stuff?
Might help.
It was pretty potent, but if you have an idea...
Hold the breath. How big is that room? Have you seen it?
No, I didn't get to see it.
That does give me an idea, actually.
Mhm.
I, as the amazing lizard folk that I am capable of holding my breath for up to about 15 minutes, give or take.
Wow.
That's very impressive.
I mean, like, makes sense for a crocodile. I can't argue against that.
Well, I mean, like, I'm actually looking at the page, and that is a thing that apparently lizard folk can do that I had overlooked until now, because I don't normally go underwater or anything.
No. So, like, if you want to shove a peg over your nose and have a go, I'm definitely not gonna stop you.
Fair enough. I'll try to be back soon. You two stay here and think of things. I'll scout it, I guess. He's gonna take his hat and put it over the end of his snout. Gonna go out the door into the smelly room.
All
Close
right.
it behind him.
Through the middle door, then, you immediately get engulfed by this stench, and even if you are holding your breath, you can kind of feel it clinging to you. I'm not gonna make you roll anything, but just know that, like, you get the feeling that, yes, this is gross.
This is bad.
Yeah. You also notice that, like, you are kind of immediately engulfed in this thick green fog, so it is a little bit difficult to see. What do you want to do now you're in this room, though?
Well, I'm standing just in front of the door. Door's closed. I'm gonna check to make sure the door's still there and I can still open it real quick, because I don't want to be locked in here.
Yeah, good news is, as you reach behind you, the door is still there. It's a bit hard to see it, but you can feel where the handle should be and, like, where the door frame is.
Alright, I'm gonna keep one hand on the door handle just so I don't lose the door, since it's hard to see. And I am gonna make a perception roll to see if I can spot anything through the fog.
You are going to be at disadvantage. So
Let me
20.
do that roll one more time.
Yep,
Oh,
let's
what
see
a
if you get another
shame.
22. I'm so sorry. That's an 8. I'm so sorry.
Hey, there we go. Unfortunate.
Gross
Oh,
green fog
boo.
that feels like it's sticking to your eyeballs. I'm so sorry. Yeah. With that, You have a look around. I will actually say you do still learn some stuff because I don't like giving people absolutely nothing on perception checks.
enough.
You notice that this room is rather dark. You know, the previous room was white, very slightly glowy and everything after you got confused by your shadow. You're in here. This room feels like nothing but shadows. Other than the door, which is still white, the rest of the room seems to just be black and disgusting green fog as far as you can see.
I can't tell how far the walls are or
No,
anything.
disgusting green fog.
Well, I'm going to blindly wave my other arm around me a bit, just see if I run into anything, and if that fails, I'm probably gonna go back through the door for a bit.
Yeah, your hands don't hit anything, like, not while you're, like, still keeping within reach of the door. There just seems to be nothing, as far as you can tell, there is nothing but disgusting green fog in here. So, if you want to head back and pass on your news.
Sure. I'm gonna go back through the door. Close it.
Bad news is, some of the stench has lingered on your clothes. Good news is, once you've closed the door behind you and you're back in this room, it's not as bad as it could be. Like, some of the, like, it is smelly, and, like, I doubt either of your new friends would want to go standing right next to you. But it's not the whole absolute terrible stench it was when the door was open.
Selli's just going to cover her nose, mate.
He covers his nose with his hat.
Well, I got bad news and I got bad news.
How encouraging.
Bad news is, room's full of a green fog and just darkness. Smells bad, obviously. And then the bad news is, wasn't able to see anything. I got no idea how long I'd be walking through this stuff if there is an exit on the other end of it. Or even what direction it would be in.
Ooh.
Well, it's okay, you came back.
Yeah.
That doesn't bode very well.
I just, as a DM, like, do you guys want, like, a hint, like, phone a friend sort of thing?
I would appreciate it. I don't have much ideas other than hurling myself into the abyss.
Please don't. I'll only give it if I get a yes from everyone, though.
I don't know, but I guess maybe
Okay.
if everyone else is okay with this.
It kind of feels like we might need one just to get the ball
okay.
rolling.
Well, I will give you kind of two separate bits and pieces. One is Respawn, you didn't actually hear because I said it on the call with the other two before you arrived, and that was a lot of this is going to be kind of like, it's going to require a bit of imaginative thinking. This is definitely this one is definitely, there is a definite answer here. And you actually came really close to it earlier, after you had opened the middle door, but before you'd opened the other two doors. You came very close.
God, I don't even remember what we did.
It was something that I believe it was actually Ali that said it, but it may have been Respawn.
Was it waving our hats around?
No, it wasn't that.
Trying to have flashbacks.
We don't have to open only one door at the same time, do we?
Maybe.
I mean, there are three of you.
Fair. Do each one open a door at the same time and just see what happens?
Can I not open the middle door again?
If you walk over, and open the middle door again, you are going to need to make that con save if you aren't specifically, like, holding your breath and plugging your nose.
That was Selli asking. I really don't want to do that again. Can someone else open that one? I'll open a different one.
Okay, no, that's fair.
Alright, since I can hold my breath, I'll take the middle door if you want to take the one on the right or something.
I can do that. I'll just stand out of the way.
Fair enough.
I'll take the door I took the previous time.
Yeah,
I'll just close my eyes.
probably for the best. Okay. Do you do a countdown or anything?
Yeah, Selli will.
Probably.
Selli will
go.
count it down. All right, ready? And now.
Bubba will open the door, holding
And
his breath.
as you three all open the doors at the same time, you noticed before that, like, yeah, when you were opening the doors individually, on the other side, it was just whatever horrible thing that room contained and black. As you three open all the three doors at the same time, there's no danger, there's no horrible smell, there's no poison darts coming at you. The doors just click open and show the insides of another plain white room.
Great. I mean, it's progress, but excuse my lack of enthusiasm for another room just like this one.
Yes, sticks out his head to see if he can see Bubba and Selli.
Yeah, you do. As like you stick your head through and you notice that to your right there are two more doors and your new friends are sticking their heads through them. Yeah.
Oh, well, at least that worked. I'm really pleased that worked. I don't know what we would have done otherwise. We would have to try to go through one of those. Goodness. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely better.
I'm
Bubba-
trying to hold on to some optimism.
You're making progress. It's something.
Well, Iaz goes into the white room.
Yeah, alright. This room is, again, while it is very similar to the one you've just come from, it is a little bit different in that it's only got one door on the opposite wall, and it's more like you have like this little area there and then a rather long corridor, and then that one door at the very end of the corridor, and that's it.
Bubba will step through and carefully close the door behind him. All
Selli's gonna
right.
do the same.
I wonder what the trick is for this one.
There's only one door, right?
Only one door. It's all the way at the end of that hallway.
Maybe that's the door. The exit door.
No, I will say
Hopefully.
it's another plain white door that matches the ones you've just walked through, rather than the big red archway door that the exit doors usually are.
Still, a man can hope.
Entirely fair.
It's possible, but unlikely. Well, does anyone want to go first, or should I go ahead and start walking?
Let's go together, I think.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Friends. Alright. You guys, you start down the corridor and heading towards that door. And you walk down the corridor heading towards the door. And you walk down the corridor heading towards that door. The corridor seems to stretch on forever, and as much as you step, you do not seem to be getting any further forwards or any closer to that door.
I am starting to get a
Oh.
suspicion that there is a gimmick to this room rather than the door.
Bubba's gonna check to see what it looks like looking back the way they came.
You're only about 2 steps from the room that you walked through before. Like, I mean, considering your long legs, yeah, you could get back to that little opening chamber more or less instantly.
Bubba's gonna try taking a step backwards while looking at the room they just were in.
You solved this one real quick.
I was just guessing. I was just testing to see what would happen, but I guess that's the solution.
All right. Okay. Now consider. All right. Let me
It's the
figure
same
out.
thing.
Let me figure out how to describe this, because yeah, if Bubba's doing it first, as you are facing the room you've just walked through, you take a step backwards, and you do seem like you've made more distance between that, like the entrance doors and the door you're headed towards. You've now you've stepped further away from that. And when you look around behind you now, yeah, you do actually seem to be a little bit closer to that door. For Iaz and Selli, as you watch this, your friend kind of just not quite teleports, but seems to stretch, and then as Bubba stops stepping, is now around halfway down this endless corridor that you were trying to walk down. It's rather strange.
What do I
Are you okay?
what do I see if I look back at them? And also, can I hear them at quote unquote distance? This is confusing.
Yeah, you can definitely hear them. Again, from you, like Bubba, while you are facing the 3 doors that you guys came through, your friends just look like they're at the beginning of the corridor. That's, for you, this looks completely normal. You can hear them fine, you can see them fine. It's from
They're
the
just 3 steps away.
Yeah, exactly. It's from the other two's point of view that you look like you have just kind of stepped an infinite distance down the fucking hall.
All right, well,
Okay.
you don't need to yell. Just try walking backwards.
Oh, is that how you did this? Is that how you got this far?
Yeah.
Selli's going to literally start walking backwards. Like, she's not going to turn around. She's just going to walk backwards.
You walk back into the door, like the room where the 3 doors were.
No,
Ow.
not.
That
Phooey.
didn't.
It just stands there confused what to do.
So we've got Selli back in like to the little antechamber just before the corridor. Like you haven't gone through the doors, but like you're standing in that area again. You've got Bubba halfway down the corridor, and then you've got Iaz just standing there, very confused at the very beginning of the corridor.
And we've also got one new addition to Bubba's attempts not to swear.
Oh no.
He said phooey.
Well, doing that didn't work. And she's going to try and walk forward to catch back up with the yes.
Yeah, you do want, as soon as you start walking down the corridor, you get that weird stretching feeling of, oh god, you're walking forwards, but you don't feel like you're moving again. But you are now, you can't quite catch entirely up to where Iaz is, but you're only like a few inches behind.
You
No,
gotta,
I don't like that feeling at all.
you gotta turn around and walk backwards. Not just straight back.
Knew I should have waited for an explanation. He turns around and walks backwards, like Bubba said.
Yeah, yes, and again, the moment you do that, Selli, as you're watching this again, now Iaz has done that weird stretchy smear thing and is now halfway down the corridor next to Bubba, and you have no idea how this is working, but you now know this is somehow working.
She's going to be pouting slightly as she turns to face the other doors and step towards it. It's like, well, I don't think we needed more explanation. He just said walk backwards. That's not my fault.
Yeah, and soon enough, as you guys all face towards the 3 doors and walk backwards down the corridor, you guys can actually progress along it, and soon enough, Bubba, your tail bumps into the door.
I think we're there. Just to avoid any other possible silliness, I'm gonna try to open the door without turning around to look at it.
Okay, can I get just like a plain... sorry, yeah, you, Ali, you go.
I just wanted Iaz to say yeah and nod.
That's fair.
Agree.
I do love it. But yeah, a plain dex roll, please, just while you fumble with this door behind you. It's not going to be a very difficult one.
Alright. Plus 3.
That's a 10. Yeah, that's good enough. That, yeah, it takes some fumbling for a bit, and the door handle may be a bit lower down than where you thought it was. But soon enough, yeah, your claws hit the handle, and you can push it open and step through backwards if you want.
And I will take a step backwards so I'm through the door frame, and then turn around and look around and such.
Congratulations, you are in yet another plain white room.
Hooray!
Dang it.
The other 2 follow?
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay. With that, yeah, you go through this room. Do you close the door behind you?
If neither of the other 2 will, Bubba will.
That seems like a sensible thing to do.
Yep, fair enough.
Selli will close it.
Yeah.
She's wasn't raised in a barn. She'll close the door.
Fantastic. All right. As you walk through and you find yourself in this new room, again, it's it's just yet another plain white room. This one is square this time, and including the door that you guys have just come through, there's a single door in the center of each wall. So, that's 4 walls, 4 doors, square room. That's pretty much it.
And that's including the one we just came out of.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Do we each want to take a different door and open it and hope for the best?
Do we do it at once?
I find it unlikely that it'll be the same puzzle again.
Fair enough.
Do you want to try anyway? Because it's worth a shot, or?
I mean, the worst that could happen.
Yeah. I mean, more horrid green fog, but yeah, okay. For sake of ease, I'm gonna label the doors north, south, east, west. You have just walked through the south door, and then there are the other ones. Which door is each person going to?
I'll go to the north door.
Okay.
I'll go. Bubba will take the western door.
Mm-hmm. Yes?
The eastern door?
Alright, cool.
It sounds like a holiday. Halloween town.
I mean, it does
Eastern door.
Yep, alright, to the east door, and then Bubba's on the west. Okay, then yeah, you guys, I'm guessing you do that little countdown, and you open the doors again, and we'll start off with you, Selli, because when you open the door, it does open straight away, and it opens into another white room. It seems safe. On the other hand, so Selli, you get this moment of oh yeah, this may actually be good. On the other hand, Bubba and Iaz, as you guys open the door, you actually both encounter a bit of resistance as you are pulling at the door handle. Can I get a strength check from the both of you, please?
All right. I have a sneaking suspicion why this is doing this, but we'll find out in a second.
I'm really glad that's not me.
Oh, that's a 16 from Bubba. And 16 from Iaz. Okay,
maybe we won't find out.
Yeah, now technically Bubba wins this because Bubba has a +2 and Iaz has nothing. On the other hand, I find it much more hilarious that both of you are tugging on the door handle. Iaz maybe even hops up so it's feet on the fucking door frame as you're pulling.
Absolutely.
And pulling, and then it's you guys are going to be at it for at least a minute. So Selli, I have to ask, what are you doing here? And then I'll get back to those two.
Well, she's not going to step through the door. She's just going to sort of stick her head through and look to see whether or not it was the same as that first puzzle. We could see the other 2 doors.
Yeah. No, absolutely, yeah. As you guys actually look through, you feel you feel like the room that you're stepping into is a little bit hazy. You can't quite see all the way to the other side. It's kind of a very the weird white light that is filling this room is kind of obscuring things a bit. What you can see, however, is your 2 friends tugging on the doors in front of you, both not really getting anywhere. And I think
in front.
Yeah, in front of you. You know they're behind you because they had the 2 east and the west doors behind you, but you are looking through this door and you can see them in front of you. And I think that's a good moment for Iaz's hands to finally slip off the handle. And Bubba, you pull open the door and you see Iaz sitting on his butt on the floor in front of you.
Bubba's going to look at Iaz on the floor there, and then look back behind him, and he is sitting at the other end of the room, and then back. I don't much appreciate this train's shenanigans.
Iaz also realizes what's been happening and says, well, you are strong. I give you that.
Yep.
How did...
Oh, well, it's not the same as the last puzzle. We can confirm that.
Somebody was very original. Then
Well-
where do we exit then?
This whole carriage is literally just how many weird doorway puzzles can I stick in a carriage?
I was getting the suspicion that might have been what we're dealing with.
So obviously we're going to loop around unless we open the right one. In the right order. Oh.
Well, what did the north door do?
I could see through that door, and she sort of thumbs over her shoulder at the south door. These
the
two
south-
doors seem to loop the same as those two.
Did the south door open when the north door was opened?
Yes, it did. Yeah, the door opened, and again, that was the door you had come through from the corridor before. You now notice the corridor is gone. You just look into this square room yet again.
Something tells me that maybe we're being punished for my tone of voice about the train, and I'd like to retract my statements and say that it's a very lovely train, and I'd like to leave now.
Okay, that's adorable. I'm giving you a point of inspiration for that because I love the idea of Bubba just kind of going, I'm sorry to the train that I was rude.
I'm sorry, I've been saying a lot of things about you. Can we go? Please. I don't want to be trapped in this room forever.
The train does not react, I'm sorry.
It was worth a shot. Sentient trains seem very likely suddenly.
No, it was definitely worth it. That's why you've got a point of inspiration. I love this though. This is good. Yeah, this is the point where you guys go nuts.
Splendid. Let's get right on that. Bubba's gonna just start walking through doors. Just randomly.
Selli's just going to sit back and observe this for a second.
Yeah, okay, I think we get this wonderful, I think in terms of how cartoons work, we get this moment of Selli just sitting down and watching as Bubba walks from left to right. Okay, wait, no, gotta try through the north door, coming out through the south door. Okay, what happens if you double back through the south door, out through the north door, ducking back to the east, and just walking back and forth across the screen as these doors open and close and open and close.
Selli's going to get tea out of her hammer space and just be sipping in a little teacup.
Amazing.
Yes, and Bubba walks through doors in fast pace, fast motion instead of slow motion, and Selli's just sitting there with normal animation speed.
Oh, I love it.
It's turning into it's not quite the whole classic Scooby-Doo gag of 6 doors and you're all running through different ones, but it's close.
I'm pretty sure a couple of times Iaz and Bubba would knock into each other because some doors are the same door.
Yeah, pretty much. So again, you have that kind of okay, who's opening this door? Which way does it open? Oh wait, no, a mid-room collision sort of thing because you can't always see directly in front of you.
Selli's just going to wait until they get bored.
Iaz tries to knock on the door, on one of the doors.
And that's so good. Yeah, if you knock on the door again, it's just you hear the knock kind of echoing through from the door behind you and everything. And Ali, can I just say I love the art that you're doing while we're playing the game. I love it. It's so good.
Thanks. It's because there's 2 of us, but we're not talking about it.
Bubba hears a knock on the door and opens it up. Oh, hi.
Hello.
Fancy.
I think we met.
Fancy meeting you here.
Oh dear.
Knocking doesn't work.
I just picture them doing this for a while and then just sort of doing the back-to-back slump onto the floor with a big sigh.
I was gonna say after the next few doors, Bubba's just gonna lay down in the middle of the floor and stare up at the ceiling in defeat for the moment.
Aww.
A momentary reprise from walking through doors.
Should we investigate the walls again or something?
Perhaps. I ain't much for thinking in puzzles. This is hurting my brain.
Selli's going to trot over to where Bubba is lying on the floor, and she's going to reach down and give him a very encouraging little pat on the shoulder, and she's going to say, I didn't want to interrupt you, but in my experience, like my brother used to play video games that were a little bit like this, and either we'll have to go through the doors in a correct sequence, or there'll be like a hidden trapdoor in the floor. Those are the two most likely options, I think.
What's a video game?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's something that my father made for him, actually. But you have the little buttons and you control somebody on the screen. It's very cute.
Can't say I get it, but okay.
It's like a board game, except it moves on its own.
Like chess.
Sort of like chess.
It's been a long time since I've played once. But yeah, I know what video games are.
I love that.
Irrelevant, trapdoor, or sequence. Those are our options.
I love that we have now established that video games are technically canon to Inkwell now. Like, we don't even have reliable mobile phones, or like we've barely got TV. We've only just about got color movies, and we've got video games already. I love it.
I mean, why do you think nothing else has been worked on?
Good point. Good point.
You don't know where else it's from. They have video games there.
Well, I'm tired of walking through doors, so I think I'll just crawl around on the floor for a bit, knocking for anything. Okay. And Bubba will do exactly that. He's going to roll onto his belly, and he's going to start crawling around, taking occasional stops to knock on the floor and see if he gets anything.
Oh, I love this. I think that's going to be investigation rather than perception, because like you're looking at a specific area and you're doing a specific action.
Fair enough. I don't got any bonuses to it, so I got a 1.
Oh, no.
Okay. You know what? You kind of, yeah, as you said, you're crawling about the floor, kind of going knock, knock, and like listening, and knock, 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 listening. You get to the center of the floor, and you go knock, knock. And you're not certain, but you swear you hear something under there. Maybe it's like a little echo, maybe it's kind of like, you know, you can hear kind of like the train underneath, and you know, but like, no, there's another sound. If you go knock, 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 there's like, here, you go knock now. Yeah, it sounds hollow. You know there's something under there. There's definitely something under there. You're certain of it.
Bubba's gonna occupy himself trying to find where the edges of the panel of the floorboard is or whatnot. You know what I mean.
Yeah, okay.
He's probably not gonna get anywhere, but he's just gonna be at that for a bit.
I think let's leave you trying to tear up the floor for a little bit and see what the other two are doing. I love it when people get nat ones and I can just give them blatantly false information. It's a delight.
Oh dear. Selli's going to, without doing the whole rushing thing, she's going to go and check each of the doors in sequence. So like she's going to go through the north door, but when she comes out the south door, she's going to back through it and then try each one in turn and see if anything changes.
I'll say, as you kind of go through, you head through, like, as you check all the different doors, you walk through the north door, and again, like, there's that weird fog that's kind of hiding the other side of the room. It's not fog, I don't know how to describe it other than the render distance gets turned down slightly low, seeing as we're going with video games.
Yes.
Yeah, you walk through that as you check the north, south, and west doors, but it doesn't really happen so much in the east. You go through the east door, and you can still kind of see the other side of the room a little bit better, and you can kind of see yourself disappearing through the door.
Okay, I'm going to go all the way through the east door, and I'm going to close it behind me.
Okay. Yeah, again, you are once again in the room.
I'm standing on the west side, I assume.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Ponder.
To examine the ceiling. It probably won't do anything, but
if you want to check the ceiling, roll me either perception or investigation, up to you. Seeing as you're not doing a
I don't
specific
know
action.
what's the difference between them, so I'm gonna go with whatever.
Yeah. Well, because like one of them's intelligence, one of them's wisdom. It's basically whichever is your skill. That's a 19.
That's not bad at all.
With that, you are looking really closely. You probably like stand on top of Bubba a couple of times as Bubba's still going around trying to tear up the floor. But you look at the ceiling really closely and you can just about see a few hairline cracks in it, which again, thanks to your knowledge of like, how this train seems to be made, you're fairly sure those are like some of the edges of the big panels that the world is made of.
Not touching those. He couldn't reach them if he wanted to. Anyway. But I think he would share his discovery with the other two.
Yeah.
I mean...
You go.
Well, do we want to go messing with the ceiling?
I don't know, that's the thing. But have you found any trapdoors?
I'm pretty sure there's one here. I've been trying to pull at it for a while, but I ain't been able to get a grip since the floor is kind of smooth.
Yes, looks right above the trapdoor, quote unquote, to see if there's a trapdoor on the ceiling. What if there are equal portals as well? It won't lead to anything, but I don't think he sees anything.
Yeah, no, again, like, you don't, unless you want to go trying to pry up the panel that you found, like, the edges of, you're not really going to go seeing anything. There doesn't seem to be a trapdoor. That it's pretty much like you have spotted you've spotted the edge of something, but, you could have a go if you want.
We're talking about the panel on the ceiling, right?
Yeah.
As I said, he couldn't reach it if he wanted to.
No, not unless, you're standing on top of Bubba.
I got an idea.
Hmm?
I'll hoist you up there. And if that don't work, you can help me try to pull this trapdoor open.
Selli's just going to sort of stand there with cure wounds on hand. Just in case.
Okay, can I get let's get an acrobatics roll from Iaz, seeing as you were trying to do some balancing, and a strength roll from Bubba, seeing as you're trying to hold up this. It's going to be a low one for the strength because Iaz is quite small, but...
And I'm quite large and strong.
Oh no, that's a 4. Okay.
It's fine, I got you.
Alright, so the good news is, Bubba, this rabbit's so lightweight. You have no problem lifting him up. This is not an issue at all. On the bad news is, with that 4, Iaz, you try to climb up Bubba. You manage to stand on his head for about 0.2 seconds before your foot slips and you tumble down. Good news is I am actually going to let Bubba catch you with that good a strength roll. So now you've kind of just got Iaz cradled in Bubba's arms in front of him.
Cradled in the large reptilian arms. You alright?
I'm sorry. I'm usually better with that.
You're welcome to try again.
Yes, does. Try again. Should I roll again?
So chill.
Yeah, if you want to have another go, go ahead.
Bubba just wants out of the weird room. Bubba's a very simple man of wants and needs, and he wants to go back to his son, and he needs to get out of this room.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I'll tell you what, because I don't want you to fail at this, that was a 7. You get advantage on this, as now you've kind of know a little bit more of what to expect, so roll again.
You now have expertise in balancing on Bubba. Congratulations.
He now has expertise in being this tall because he's not used to it.
Yeah,
He
I hope
wasn't
you're not
used to it
afraid
the
of
first time.
heights.
Oh,
He's not actually, but he's not used to being tall.
Uh,
How do you do advantage?
oh, you
I just
literally
roll
just,
again.
yeah, you just roll again, and whether we take the higher roll, basically. Which hopefully won't be. Never
Oh, you're
mind,
kidding.
it's 7. The dice have spoken. The random
it's
number
just 7.
the random number generator
Alright.
concept demanded you get a 7. Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
with
dice
that.
We're-
You get a 7. No, you get a 7.
Yeah.
Who are we to question them?
Okay, with that, good news is you're not going to outright fall off again. With a 7, however, you can't stand up. You can the only way you are able to stay up here is if you are kind of lying on, like, across Bubba's snout. And, like, you can just about reach up and touch the ceiling if Bubba also stands on his tippy toes. But yeah, you
Yes.
can't stand up.
Bubba will try. I'll try to tilt his head up a bit too to give him a better angle there. But this is kind of awkward. The snout's not exactly meant to support weight like this. It's quite uncomfortable.
Very, very sorry.
It'll be alright. Just get this thing.
How about we switch?
You want to try lifting me?
I mean, if you want
Maybe.
to.
I'm out of options. I think my balance is off today.
Well, alright. He'll gently get eyes down from his snout.
Okay.
Now, if you're sure about this, I'm kind of a big guy.
I know.
Alright.
My back will hurt. I don't know if he
Feeling
tries
else is
to.
fine.
Yeah, no, basically, yeah. Now, Iaz, your turn to make the strength roll while Bubba has to make the acrobatics.
Oh, please let this be a higher roll.
Please, please. I want this to work. This is great. It's a
Aw.
5. Oh no!
Should I still make my roll? or-
Yeah, I want to see if you fall flat on your face while Iaz is trying to lift you. Okay, that's an...
No.
That's a somersault.
Okay, so I think what happens here with that 21 and a 5... Okay, is, Bubba, you're standing there, kind of like 1 foot up, ready for Iaz to lift you, and then Iaz kind of grabs your other foot to lift you up, and Bubba, you don't move an inch. Iaz is obviously trying with all of his might to lift you. And Bubba, you're just standing there.
It's a fine job you're doing. Maybe take 5, get a breather in you.
I have another option.
Okay.
I can be your stool.
Are you sure? Maybe I should try being your stool instead. How about that? I feel like
Maybe, but will it help?
It
I
won't
don't
get
know.
you guys high enough.
Hmm?
It won't get you high enough. If Bubba, because like if Bubba kind of crouches down and is only half height, yes, you'll have an easier time balancing. You won't get high enough for the ceiling when it's just the two of you. So unless Selli wants to also join in and then stand on top of Iaz.
Yeah. No, she's not going to be doing that. She has a very realistic assessment of her physical capacity, and it does not extend to that. She can, however, offer to cast guidance, if that would help.
I mean, it might.
She's just sort of going to trot over. It's like, do you want some help with your balance? Yes.
I guess. That
Again,
would be great.
she's going to reach over and just sort of pat his arm, and she's going to cast guidance. So it's once before the spell ends, Taka can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to one ability check of its choice. You can roll the die before or after making the ability check.
I do a d20 and then a d4?
Yeah, so you do your athletics roll as normal, and then you can roll a d4 and add that to the total number.
Oh, okay. Then they try again if Bubba agrees.
I'm good with that. Are you trying to lift me again, or should I lift you up?
Let's go with
lift him.
yeah.
Alright, so I'm lifting you.
Seems like it.
Alright.
Yeah, strength roll again, please. And yep, acrobatics from Yaz. That's not too. An 11 isn't too bad. Like
You can roll the d4.
Okay, so 12. You know what? I'm making a 12 high enough that it just about works. You are having a hard time of it, Iaz. So you're having a hard time balancing, but you can just about manage to stay up here as long as Bubba is very careful to move. If Bubba tries walking anywhere, you're going to have to kind of, not climb down, but you're going to have to do the whole like lying across Bubba's snout thing again and wait for Bubba to stop moving, and then you can stand up again.
Bubba's leaned back a little, using his tail as a tripod. He ain't going anywhere.
I love that. I need to duck away for just a moment. If you three want to kind of talk for 5 minutes, that would be fantastic. I will be back in a minute.
I might go to the bathroom, actually. That sounds like a good idea.
Fair enough.
Selli's just watching Iz and Bubba do whatever.
Seems like you.
Dealing with everything.
Hmm?
What? I'm sorry.
I wasn't sure what you said last.
Dealing with everything.
Yeah. I hope you don't mind, but I do like holding on to pictures of my characters and such. I'm saving these to my folder.
Absolutely, you are welcome to.
Yay.
I love Bubba. He's a great character. He seems like it.
Yeah.
And I love crocodiles in animation.
Yeah. I mean, he ain't a toon kind, but he's certainly meeting a lot of them. He's just a normal lizard folk. Honestly, he's not that good of a person considering he's part of the mafia, but I mean, you run into a lot of really like light-hearted, silly people. You kind of don't act like a mafia member around them, you know? Especially considering one of the last ones he met was a detective, apparently. So, you know, good reason to not good reason to just act all friendly and such.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. Also, he does have a son waiting for him whenever he gets off this thing, so it's not like he's new to being around small, innocent sorts.
Clenches hard.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
He's just a family crocodile, member of the mafia, trying to get out so he can not put his family at risk with his day-to-day business.
That's valid.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the main conflict that landed him on the train, because I was told that only people who are currently going through some internal conflict end up on the train, and his is how and if he should leave the mafia so he can better support his family and not put him at risk.
Aww.
Yep.
An amazing story.
Yeah.
I hope.
Were you all talking
I hope
tragic
you will
backstories?
Well, just talking about Bubba mostly.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. We love Bubba, so this is excellent. Anyway, thank you for being patient while that on. Where were we? Eaz was balancing on top of Bubba's head.
Pretty much, yeah.
Alright, what's the next goal? Trying to, like, get at the stuff in the ceiling?
Pretty sure
What
that's
should
why
I
we were
roll
doing
for that?
this.
Okay, I'm gonna need... Again, it's gonna just be a straight strength roll if you were just trying to kind of shove your fingers in the crack and pull. It's gonna be pretty difficult, though.
Okay. We're
That's a 16.
trying.
Alright. With a
Why
16...
couldn't it be 16 when he tried to lift Bubba?
No.
Well, that's appropriate.
Look, the dice gods know what they're doing. With a 16, you do manage to get your fingers in the cracks, Eaz. You manage to give it a very slight pull, and you are heaving with all of your might. But considering your rather precarious position, you can't, and also the fact that you're quite small, you just straight up don't have heaps of weight to add to it. So you manage to pry it open from being like a hairline crack to being about maybe a centimeter wide crack that you can now see easily is just running the full way along the ceiling. But you don't manage to get it further than that before it's just kind of like, no, this thing is stuck unless you've got something else to maybe go at it with.
I have an idea.
Oh?
Ayaz, can you just get a good grip on it? You don't need to pull, but Ayaz, just get a good solid grip on it, would you?
I am afraid I know where this is going.
Oh no. Oh yes, but oh no.
That is an idea.
Just get a grip on it. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Okay. I'm trying.
So while Ayaz has got a good grip on the edge of it, I'm gonna reach up and try to like grab onto the ankles there, and I'm gonna pull on him. Pull on. It is a him, right?
I thought you were just going to go away.
No,
And
no,
gravity, dude.
no. I'm gonna
Oh,
help
goodness.
you.
Eaz doesn't weigh anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have to ask though, Eaz, please remind me what type of toon you are. Like, what's your sub-race?
I think it's Warren. Yes, Warren.
Oh, good. You're wonderfully stretchy then. In that case, Bubba, tug away. Give me a strength roll.
All right. So obviously, what's going on in Bubba's head is he's basically just going to use his friend here as basically a wrench to solve the problem. We'll see how that goes.
With an 11, you're giving it a pretty hard tug. You're not quite sure how, but again, toon logic. It's not the panel that is moving, it is your friend, as Eaz is kind of bit by bit stretched out. And kind of gets longer and longer, you could kind of see, Eaz's kind of lines and colors going weird as they're stretched out like a rubber band as you pull them down, and it kind of gets close enough that Eaz's feet can almost now touch the floor. They don't look good though.
Bubba's confused because really he knows that he's been messing with toons, but he ain't seen this happen before.
Selli's a warn too, so she's like, whatever. You should snap back into place when you let go.
This is normal then. Eyes, you good? You're right.
I'm fine. What if you carefully let go? And what if the gravity will do something on its own without stretching me instead of pulling the lid off?
Fair enough. Let's give that a shot. He's gonna carefully lift the legs back up to unstretch Eyes, and then once we see him about right,
I was
go
gonna
ahead
say,
and
no,
let go.
as per rule of funny, if you had let go, Eaz would have snapped back like an elastic band and just gone sprawling. Because you are carefully going, no, and carefully lifting them back up, they do not snap back. They have just become a noodle now, and their legs kind of just gather up in your arms as you lift Eaz back up. So you've got rather limp and noodly bunny in your arms.
Bubba was asked to be gentle. He's trying to be gentle.
This is how
looks down on his legs.
Yeah, this is how tunes work. This is how Rule of Funny exists.
Yeah. Bubba don't get it, but Bubba's learning.
I love this.
It's amazing. So Iz looks down at his legs and is like, yeah, just leave it be.
All right.
Or give him a
take
bit of a shake. That sometimes works too.
Not
Like you would
now.
for a cow.
So Noodly Legs Iz is now hanging on that lid or whatever he's hanging.
Yeah, you're still hanging from like the crack in the ceiling. The crack has not changed since you first had your go at it.
Amazing. It doesn't do anything, so
I failed to see how we would get up there even if it did work.
That's a good point.
What if Selli tries to climb on me and try to give the lid a push as well?
She's gonna just sort of shake her head like, no, I feel as though that would not be remotely successful.
You could.
And she's gonna sort of hold up her arms and just sort of go, please observe the thinness of my arms. They are quite thin.
Oh, I love that. I would like to know, you could probably effectively use Eaz as a rope right now, in order to climb up from the ground, but also Selli teeny.
She's teeny and she has a 0 in acrobatics and a -1 in athletics. She can't do it very well. She's not built for this sort of thing.
Okay then, and Iz jumps down, hoping that his legs will break his fall.
Yeah, yeah, as you let go of the crack and everything, you do fall and you kind of curl up into a little noodly hoop, like noodly heap, sorry. And when you stuff kind of blurs and smushes together, and when you pop back up, you have returned to your normal size. Congratulations.
That was an episode.
I will say things are making less sense by the second.
It's a long shot, but can I try, where is it? Can I try to use Guiding Hand?
Ooh, can you explain that one to me for real quick?
You create a tiny incorporeal hand of shimmering light in an unoccupied space you can see within range. The hand exists for the duration, but disappears if you teleport or travel to a different plane of existence. When the hand appears, you name one major landmark. I was thinking of exit, such as a city, mountain, castle, or battlefield on the same plane of existence as you. Someone in history must have visited the site and mapped it. That's the only thing I'm not sure about.
Okay, yeah, because that's the one thing of, I'm guessing, yeah, this is just kind of points you towards where you're trying to get. Okay, so
to point which way to go, that's the idea.
Yeah, so the thing is, people have gone through this, like the door you're trying to get to before. People have done it. This train is, no, technically there is a map of this entire train, but it's not necessarily a map of the internal like the insides of the carriage, other than, yep, this is what the carriage. Oh, gods. Sorry, I'm now just trying to comprehend the mechanics of the train and how it would interact with this particular spell.
She asks if there is a map, and she asks it to point into the exit door, then it shouldn't fail. Whether or not it helps, that's another story. but it shouldn't fail.
I mean, I was gonna say what I think it would probably end up doing if that's all right.
Yeah, what's your thought?
I imagine good news, multiple gloves or hands or whatever. Bad news, all pointing in different directions.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was starting to lean towards, because this is one of the carriages where, because there's a lot of magical bullshittery going on, it is not trying to fit into Euclidean space. So I think kind of what happens is the hand turns up and it points towards the west door. Then it points towards the south door, then the north door. No, over east, and then left, right. It's kind of just going up, down. It's pointing.
Begins spinning rapidly.
Yeah, pretty much. It's spinning so quickly, trying to point towards everywhere, and then pong, it stops for a moment. And then it's pointing in, like, basically imagine just a ball of gloves pointing towards every direction at once.
That is significantly less helpful than I was hoping.
It was a good try. I am gonna give you a point of inspiration for attempting it, because it is a real good spell. I'm sorry, you are in one of the few carriages that something like that just straight doesn't work.
Boo.
In a different carriage, that might have been exactly what was called for. In this one in particular, however, it seems we're out of luck.
Exactly.
Well, I doubt she's getting off the train after this carriage, so there might be an opportunity later.
Indeed. Well, we're not making any more progress on the ceiling, probably, and I'm pretty sure the doors on each side, on each of the walls here, still go exactly where we expect them to. Still that trap door on the floor.
Thank you for remembering that.
Is using brute force.
Like, you do have a very definitive giant crack in the ceiling at the moment, but
I don't think Bubba can jump high enough to just whack at it or anything.
I'm just kind of wondering, do I do plot point now, or do I just let you guys try and figure out what the heck's going on?
I mean, I can think of one really silly thing to do.
Please do it. Yes.
Try.
Hey, so Eyes, does that stretching thing doesn't hurt you, right?
Only a little?
How about, and I don't want to alarm you or anything, how much do you think it might hurt for you to impact the ceiling at high speed?
Just me? What? Are you suggesting to throw me?
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know.
I'm waiting for someone to pull out, like, this little mini human cannon out of their hammer space, complete with, like, a red helmet with flames on the side, and just shoot yourself at the ceiling.
All right, how about this? I got one health potion on my person. If this does end up hurting, it's yours. How's that sound?
Can I make a suggestion? An alternative?
Okay.
And she's just going to reach into her hammer space real quick. Yep, sweet. She's going to pull out a lance, and she's going to offer it to him. It's like, perhaps you want to throw this instead?
I mean, I wasn't exactly thinking throwing, but this could definitely be an alternative. I'll give it a shot.
I mean, the lance is going to be long enough that, Bubba, if you're holding it, you can poke at the ceiling reasonably easily.
You know, that seems like a better idea. I'm just going to poke and prod and just generally bang at the ceiling with it for a bit.
Yeah.
Don't forget to say sorry to the train, because it's so nice.
Oh, yes, no. Make sure to apologize to the train for what we're doing to it, just on the off chance it is sentient and doesn't appreciate this.
Okay, use your poking thing. Are you poking specifically at the crack or just in the ceiling in general?
I'm going to aim mostly for the crack, and if that doesn't get many results, then I'll start feeling out the rest of the space there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Give me a strength roll for like as you jam the lance into the middle of the crack, and then try and lever it open. Maybe that's a 19.
That's
Yes.
wonderful.
All right, so you give it a couple of pokes, and then you kind of figure out, okay, yeah, the lance can fit into this seam crack thing reasonably easily. So you kind of shove it in there, and you give it a really good shove, and then you try and pull to the side, almost like an extended crowbar. And with that 19, yeah, you hear this as something up there crunches. And, like, the lance, I am sorry, is gonna be kind of unusable after this because it has now been warped into a rather odd shape. But you know what? So has the ceiling.
It's now the perfect lance for a 45-degree joust.
Exactly. Oh, that was great. Yeah, with that, yeah, the crack is now definitely wide enough that, like, Iaz and Selli could probably get through it. Bubba, it's going to be a bit too much of a squeeze for you currently. But you guys can actually now see through the ceiling, and yeah, you can see, like, the plates that had been making up this, like, wonderful white, slightly glowing room, have now been exposed to the mechanics behind it, and you can, like, see like steel and iron and bronze, giant gears and arms and levers kind of just through this crack. It seems rather dark up there, and you can see like the mechanics of things moving about. But you just get this feeling that you're not sure to be there. Iaz, this is going to look very familiar to you because you've seen the insides of a carriage being destroyed anyway.
It's a relief to look at something that's not wide for a little bit.
Honestly, this feels like the first time I've had a chance to one-up this train. I'm quite proud of this whole situation.
I don't know if we should try to look into it.
Why?
The previous time I've seen something like this, the whole carriage kind of stopped existing, I'm assuming. I don't know how it does.
That's not reassuring.
What if you were just simply able to observe, and while we went through the doors, and if anything changed or was different, it might give us a clue as to how we're supposed to solve the puzzle properly.
There's enough space for me to be there without being squashed, maybe?
Just poke your head through the hole.
That would require more balancing. I will try.
Well, it won't be super duper balancing as you're kind of just like climbing up Bubba, using him as a ladder to get through the crack rather than actively trying to balance so you can do things up there. But it will still take either an acrobatics or an athletics roll, your choice.
Okay.
Should I roll strength?
Yeah, please. Again, quite a low roll, but okay, yeah, Bubba, you have no problem holding up Iaz. Iaz, okay, with an 11, I'm going to say it's just good enough. It's a bit of a slow and wary clamber, but you can get on top of Bubba enough for you to grab that crack in the ceiling again, now that it's massive now, and stick your head through. And can I get a perception check from you?
Sure. I guess Iz was slow because he didn't want to fall off again.
Yeah, it wasn't very
That's
fun.
valid.
That's a 24.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice. Okay. With that, as you look around, yeah, you see all the mechanical workings that I have described before, and you can kind of see in this one, there is a definite difference compared to the previous time you saw this stuff. The previous time, things already didn't seem like they were working together properly. It was kind of like, things that had been shoved together when they kind of didn't, which made sense considering how broken and strange that carriage was compared to every other carriage you've seen. This time, everything looks like it should more or less be in the right place. All the gears and workings are moving together. Other than the stuff that was specifically attached to the panel, you've now wrenched out of place. You can see some stuff kind of grinding together, and you can hear like the clockwork ticking and clunk, clunk, clunk. Doesn't quite sound as smooth as it should. It's not like near silent like it should be in other carriages. But yeah, you can see that there is a pathway up here that you could actually look around. You kind of have all the mechanical workings and you have a bit of a space. And then you can see a second ceiling above you. It's a lot more raw. It's a lot more based around like, hey, this is kind of like the inner workings that no one's going to care about. So it's okay if you can still see all the rivets and everything. And the other last and probably the most important thing you spot here is a hatch. It's got like a little circular wheel embedded into it, that like one of those things where you turn, and this circular hatch should seem to open. It's located in the ceiling, but you don't know what's up there.
There's a hatch. I see a hatch in the ceiling above this one. I'm not sure where it leads to.
I mean, if you think you can get to it, you might as well. Certainly no doors down here that lead much of anywhere.
Okay. I thought we would maybe look if those mechanisms do anything to those portal doors, but I will try to get to the hatch. If anything changes, yell.
Yeah.
Alright.
We'll keep an eye.
So it takes a little bit of clambering. I won't make you roll anything, but you manage to squirm your way through the mechanics and then stand on like a big chunk of metal. And yeah, you're directly underneath the hatch. Can I get a strength roll from you to see how you are in terms of opening it up if you wanted to?
Oh no.
Amazing.
That's a crit fail. Okay, yeah.
He's weak.
I think what happens is as you are trying, like, we've got the whole thing of, like, you're trying from one position, trying from another position, another one, like, you just straight up with your feet on the ceiling as you are upside down trying to turn this thing, and you are having no luck at all, and then something in one of your arms goes ding, and ow, you must have pulled a muscle or something, because ow, your arm is really, really sore now, and you are in fact going to take like a tiny bit of damage. You're going to take 3 damage from just abs twinging your elbow or twisting your wrist or something along those lines is this failed strength check. And I think actually no, tell you what, Iaz, you do what you want to do next here, and then I will encourage plot to happen.
Ow. Yes, shakes his arm or hand, whatever got damaged.
Yeah.
And he yells down, hoping that they would hear him. I can't get it open.
I suppose it's not going to be our solution then.
Well, I mean, as this is going on, as you were kind of yelling back and forth, you guys are gonna hear a very familiar announcement to anyone else that has been listening to the other Neverending Train episodes. Bubba and Selli, as you guys are actually still within one of the white rooms, it feels like it's coming out of the walls for you. It's when this goes off, the sounds feel like they're just coming from all around you. Iaz, because you're up in the workings of the train, it feels a little bit muffled and vague, but you can still make out the words. As you guys hear a whole bong bong bong, and the announcement begins.
Attention all passengers.
I had him muted.
This
no.
is a railway service announcement. First of all, welcome aboard the Never-Ending Train. For those who are new, yes, you heard that correctly, this is a train. It is a very large train with very unusual carriages, but it is a train nonetheless. To the rest of you who are already familiar with this, you may have noticed some technical difficulties, deficiencies, and all-around pickups, including, but not limited to, risk to life and limb, stress and strain to mental health, and a sore lack of abidance to railway standards. Owing to these failings, my friends and I, fellow passengers all, have taken the initiative and made our way to the engine. This was made possible by the emergency exits available for use in the centre of the ceiling of each carriage. I repeat, there is an escape hatch in the centre of each carriage's ceiling. It might be disguised under an illusion of some nice fluffy clouds, but trust me, it's there if you look. They can be a bit of a bugger to shift, but keep at it, I'm sure you'll manage. If any of you do attempt this, be careful not to fall in the process. It's a long way down, and I know this from personal experience. And also, once outside it is possible, you might encounter a giant multi-legged robot with laser vision and knives for hands, so keep an eye out for that. In the meanwhile, my esteemed colleagues and I will be attempting to rectify, or at least put a stop to, this train's more harmful shortcomings. Namely, that individual who is called Father. He is called Father. He appears not to be a passenger. I am unclear as to whether he created this train or merely the poor soul he abandoned and left in charge of it, who is actually a really nice laddie person, automaton, called Alex. If you meet them, be nice. It's not their fault. Really, it's not their fault. We are going to try to fix the train. If you come across the father figure, beat the peck out of him. It's basically their fault. You are, of course, welcome to continue your little pre-arranged adventure on the train. Apparently, we all have a nice tailor-made individual one that if we solve, we're allowed to get off the train. But the last person to do that was 14 years ago, so, just keep that in mind. You could be stuck on here indefinitely. And hey, what's a little rebellion without a few friends, huh? Some of ye may have met me already by another name, but for now ye may simply call me Oscar. I'm short, orange, have a mouth like a tin can opener, and I'm apparently a lot more qualified for the running of locomotives than the poor soul they've lumped with the task here. As for the picnic who's responsible for all this, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are, in brief, I'm coming for you. And there is no machine, no monster, no demon, nor god in this world that will stop me. Thank you all for your time and attention, and remember, if you do make your way to the outside of this train, please mind the gap.
Bong, bong, bong. And the announcement ends.
Wow.
Now, I just have to double check. This is the first time any of you three have heard that announcement, isn't it?
Yes. That was
I've
amazing.
never heard that before.
Amazing. And this is why I have to keep playing it every single fucking episode. But yeah, you guys...
That's brilliant.
Yeah, you guys have this strange, angry, this angry Scottish voice coming out from nowhere, and considering how long some of you have been on the train, you have never heard any sort of announcement. This is entirely new, and congrats, you're already halfway through the goal of getting through the fucking ceiling. What do you want to do?
Yes, comes down, well, not entirely down, but he peeks through the trapdoor thing.
Yeah. Oh, like the crack in the ceiling.
Asks,
Yeah.
yes. And asks, did you all hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, I reckon I did.
14 years, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can open the thing, but maybe I should try again, but I kinda pulled a muscle or something.
Well, we've got to get the two of us up there too. If it's the escape hatch.
To pry it open some more for Bubba to fit.
I only have so many lances, and I do want them for self-defense, if necessary.
Can Ias try to stomp on the crack to pry it open some more?
Again, yeah, roll me another strength check and we'll see if we can get this any more open. But again, you are a rather small and lightweight bunny.
But he's determined.
That's a 12. Okay, with that, yeah, I think you kind of going jump, 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 your feet banging against the bottom of this panel. And, like, you can hear it groaning and shifting a tiny bit, but it's still definitely not wide enough that Bubba, being the size he is, would be able to fit through.
Splendid.
I would also like to point out that, like, hey, if you are, like, if you've got a tune, if you've got your hammer space, I will let you pull stuff out of your hammer space that you don't necessarily have in your inventory, as long as it isn't anything, you know, game-breaky.
Well, that being the case, I could try and get a ladder.
I mean, yeah, you do specifically have, like, a ladder on, like, the fumble table, so yeah, you would have one.
All right, give me a go at that. Yeah.
Yeah. You knew you had one in here. I always love the image of just like tiny toons going, oh wait, 1 sec, I know I have this behind me, leaning into like your like grabbing it from behind you, and then just pulling Mary Poppins carpet bag, sort of giant, pulling a whole lamp out of nowhere, except it's a whole ass ladder.
Yeah. Aha. This will work.
I would suggest a crowbar or something. Maybe.
You have one?
I don't, but even if I could try to get it. How do you use a hammer space? I've never used it before in a game. This
You
is literally my second game.
Yeah, no, you just roll a d10, and as long as you get above a 1, you get the item that you're trying to pull out. Yeah, turns out you got a crowbar.
He grabs it with his other hand, the unharmed hand, and he doesn't... I don't know if I can do it with one hand. Can any of you try to reach the crack with a crowbar?
How high is the ceiling? Is it like a 10-foot ceiling, or?
Yeah, I would say it is probably about 10 feet. So like it's just enough that like one of like either Iaz or Selli standing on top of Bubba's head can reach it, but only just.
Okay, so the ladder that I've got, I have to, if it's one of those folding ladders that can be an A-frame, but you can make it all the way straight, I would have to make it all the way straight and sort of lean it on the ripped up ceiling in order to reach the top.
I was thinking it was, a plain wood, easy to draw and cartoon sort of ladder, so it probably is just like one of the long ones. I'm gonna say it is just long enough that, if you cut, you can kind of lean one edge against the crack and you can climb up there if you want.
Okay, so she's going to do that, and then she's going to look at Bubba and be like, I suspect I weigh a lot less than you, and I mean no offense when I say this. No, so I might go up first, and then if you follow behind, you might be able to reach through and grab the crowbar off Iaz and do something about the ceiling, and then join us on the other side.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. I'm going to climb a ladder now. Do you want me to roll for that, Kai?
No, it's a ladder. They're made so they can be easily climbable. I'm just gonna say you managed to get up there. Don't worry.
Hooray!
Iaz would lay down the crowbar and reach his hand for Selli to help her up.
She's going to accept it.
Bubba, how are you doing? You've been pretty quiet since the announcement.
I was just thinking about how he's been here 2 weeks. Never heard a thing about any of it. Two whole weeks of his life on this weird train. And only now realizing that maybe there's a conductor at the front of all this. She's just been thinking, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fair. First time kind of thinking outside of like the immediate carriage that you're in. But yeah, you have 2 friends in the ceiling and you now have access to a crowbar.
Well, he'll take up the crowbar and start climbing the ladder.
Alrighty. Yeah, once you get up there, let's get one more strength roll, please, to see if you can wrench the ceiling open just enough for you to squeeze through.
Do I get advantage because I got the crowbar, or do I just get a flat bonus?
You know what? Yeah, have advantage on this. Leverage is always helpful.
Fair enough. There's attempt 1, which ain't getting better.
That's a nat
There's
20.
attempt 2, just 1 less.
Dang, that's good.
I know that technically with advantage you're only meant to take the higher roll. Obviously here, with a nat 20 and a 19, nat 20 and then a 21, you are the dice gods want you to get this open, and obviously your 2 friends are just that lightweight because you barely takes a tap from the crowbar, and everything is obviously really, really damaged already. It's already ready to fall apart, so you kind of like dink with the crowbar against it, and then the whole ceiling just like and sadly enough, like the ladder does kind of collapse. Iaz and Selli, you do kind of fall with the rest of the ceiling. But yeah, you know, about half the ceiling of the room has just collapsed down, and the inner workings of the train are on full display.
So, quick question, and also an attempt to prevent falling. I'm kind of imagining Bubba's having climbed up the ladder, rolled his sleeves up, getting the crowbar ready, like goes to get a grip on the ceiling with the crowbar, and it just collapses.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
And of course, and in the brief moment between that happening, the ladder shifting, Bubba's very surprised, and then the ladder starts to shift. Would you say there's any sort of like pipes going over his head or something like that?
Yeah, there's gonna be like some metal bars attached to something else up there that you could grab if you give me like a quick dexterity save, please.
Well, he's not necessarily going to grab it. He's going to try and loop the crowbar like over it, so he's hanging from the crowbar that's looped across the top of the pipes.
Yeah, that works too.
And he'll try to grab the other 2 with, I don't know, probably his tail, or at least reach it out so they can grab it or something.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, let's
How many rolls am I doing?
You are doing 1 single dex save, and that is going to be to see if you can grab on. If you get high enough, I will allow you to whip your tail out as well, to see if you can catch the others.
Well, dex is my best saving throw, so that's an 8. I got a 2. That's not a nat 1.
Okay, an 8 is
It's
enough.
not going well.
That I tell you, I think what happens here is, I know this isn't technically down to just your dex, it's also down to Lagor as well, but
of course.
So what happens is you do manage to hook the crowbar above one of the metal structures that are still up there. Unfortunately, you still weigh too much, so you kind of get this one moment of, oh yes, I'm safe. And then you go falling down to the floor as well. And I'm sorry to say that Iaz and Selli, you guys don't even get a chance. In fact, you have this one moment of lying on the floor. You've crashed, you're safe. You do not actually take any damage because it's not that big a fall. It's just a pretty big shock. However, can I get a dexterity saving throw from the both of you to avoid having a crocodile land on you?
Oh, goodness.
I'm terribly sorry for any injuries I may cause. I think you might be fine.
Yep.
Hey, that's not too bad.
Yeah, thankfully that's a 22 from Iaz and a 17 from Selli. So you kind of just get this one moment of lying there going, what the fuck happens? And then you hear the crunch from above you. And again, this wonderful moment of just like, you see this little circular shadow growing as we have this crocodile falling, and you quickly roll out of the way, and Bubba, flat. You're all good. No one takes damage. It was a 10-foot fall at most. But it's just this wonderful thing of like, hey, Bubba, I know you're not actually a toon, are you? I keep forgetting.
Bubba is not a toon.
You're not a toon. The problem is you have been hanging out with toons for a while, and therefore you are also joining in the wonderful toon jokes because you do rather kind of go squish splat before bouncing back up to being fine again.
What, as in like he lands on his back and actually just bounces onto his feet?
Not with that dex save, no. I mean more like
Okay.
you know how
Just
toons
curious.
after falling from a height they kind of pancake for a moment in the smear frames before coming back to their normal sort of shape.
Yeah.
You kind of get something close to that.
Bubba's gonna lie there for a second and try to think about how he just watched his snout accordion before his eyes. Because that's not it's not supposed to do that.
No, it's not normal. But yeah, good news is all three of you can very easily see the hatch directly above you now.
Splendid.
But there's no ceiling to walk on anymore?
There are still a bunch of like bars and gears and like odds and ends up there that you could kind of walk on or climb upon when you're up there. It's just not as much of a solid floor anymore.
Okay, so we can still use the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was about to say, I don't suppose one of you has a longer ladder that'll just reach up to the hatch, would you?
I think that's my only ladder, I'm afraid.
Dang.
I can try. I don't know, but are you all right?
I think I'm fine. I'm just a little startled because I'm pretty sure that something just happened that wasn't supposed to happen, and I'm a little concerned to move and feel that something's broken.
Oh, I have plenty of healing spells if that's the case.
It ain't that kind of, like, as I said, I ain't in pain. Nothing seems broken, but I feel like something should be, but it ain't. And I'm just trying to figure that out real quick.
Oh, of course you're not used to squash and squish, are you?
Squash and stretch.
Whatever.
I'm not, and I'm a little concerned by that name.
We're
Was
used
that
to it.
Right. Well, you two can concoct an idea for a minute. I'm gonna sit here and ponder on my own physicality, I guess.
Selli's going to give him a couple of little gentle pats on the hat.
He's just gonna give a little nod, and he's gonna sit there and think about
Ruminate.
how. Yeah, think. Ponder.
Well, okay, while that's going on, I will say the ladder that you've got is enough, because like only about half the ceiling is gone. It's still tall enough that you guys can lean it against, the rest of the visible ceiling now, and then climb through the workings of the train to get up to where the hatch is. It does, I will get you guys to make either an acrobatics or athletics roll to like get to the top and make sure you're not going to get crushed by any moving pieces, but it's not going to be a very hard one.
Oh, good.
It's okay.
Great then.
Like, literally, all you need to do is, like, roll above a 10. That's all you need to do.
I have no guarantee of that.
Good, fair point.
But we'll give it a try.
Are we rolling again?
Either athletics or acrobatics. That was a nat 20 from Selli. Yeah. Obviously, you are made for climbing, because, like, you zoom up the ladder, you zoom through all these loops of metal, and that's a 3 from... yes, I'm so sorry.
Not good at it today.
So that's a 5. Why did I say 3? Yeah, that's a 5. Okay, I'm just gonna do a quick luck roll for you for a moment. You have real bad luck. Okay.
Luck rolls are a thing.
Alright, I'll tell you what. Selli, cause you got a nat 20, you can assist like, you kind of look back for a moment once you manage to get up to the hatch, and you look down, and you see that Iaz is obviously struggling, and Iaz has just put his foot right next to a moving gear that looks like it's about to, crush into another gear. Do you want to help him and call out and tell him to stop before his foot gets crushed?
Yeah, I do want to do that.
All right, tell me what you do.
She's going to sort of give a little bit of a flail and a point. It's like, be careful, stop, kind of thing.
Yes, flinches and backs out a little.
Yeah. All right. And with that, I will make a second acrobatics or athletics roll, whatever that one was. Basically, you've just been given an advantage by your friend going like, "Hey, maybe be careful," as your foot is narrowly avoided. That's a 6.
I am grateful. He still has his hand problem.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
Oh
Okay.
dear.
Yeah, I think we get this one moment of Selli yelling out, going like, "Watch out!" Iazgo looks around. Watch out for what? You do not look down. And then I'll tell you what. Do you want to use up your Acme effect bonus for this? Which means you won't take any damage. You kind of just go very toony for a bit.
Sure, why not? I don't think it's used much.
Yeah, which is a pity, because it should be used more, because it's a fucking delight. Because what happens here is, your pants leg gets caught in the gears, and then it sucks you into the rest of the gears, and we get this wonderful movement of, because you're a toon, you kind of get squashed into the gears and into all little strange shapes, and you get wiggled around a fair bit, and you got picked up at one point and squish, stretch by something else, and you're caught into another gear, and you go around in this little circuit all throughout the workings of the carriage as the camera kind of does X-ray vision and follows you around, and then eventually it spits you back out right where you started, and you kind of look like an accordion now.
I love that gag. I love that gag so much.
It's amazing.
And this is why I love the Acme effect, and we should use it more.
I will take note of that.
So, yes, you are fine, other than the fact that you're an accordion. That was not a very fun experience, though.
Now I know all the inner workings.
Yep.
And I don't understand any of it.
Yep, pretty much. I will say
wonder
that,
how...
you've managed to get up to the, you have been dumped off right in front of where the hatch is now, though.
I wonder how Bubba is reacting to this.
Bubba's getting up. He's gonna go ahead and probably make an attempt at making up this ladder again and getting up there.
Yeah, roll me athletics or acrobatics for you to climb up as well. There's enough room that, considering you've just taken out a chunk of a ceiling and the workings behind it, there's plenty of room for you to climb up. There's no squeeze, really.
Well, I mean, I'm good with athletics, so I'll give that a shot.
Dice Master, come on.
That's unfortunate.
I would like to remind you that you do actually have a point of inspiration from earlier.
I do. Let's do that real quick, actually. That's
cool.
a D4, right?
No, actually, the way that we tend to do points of inspiration is kind of, it just makes it a nat 20 automatically.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue that at all.
We are very
No
generous
complaint.
here with our inspiration because, sometimes you just need a roll to work.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, consider with that nat 20 that you've got now.
Hey, not 20.
Yeah, you have thankfully seen how your two friends got up before. You saw exactly how to do it, thanks to Selli, and exactly how not to do it, thanks to ES. So you scramble up that ladder and then through all the mechanical workings, and now all three of you are easily sitting around the hatch.
Cool.
Do you want to try opening it?
I still got this crowbar.
Yeah, in that case, strength roll with advantage.
Alright. This is the part where Bubba would roll up his sleeves if he hadn't already. And I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. Might want to stand back a bit if you can, just to be safe.
Selli is going to do so.
Hacha.
That was a 9 and
Impressive.
a 10. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Impressive, I know. I don't always roll with advantage, but when I do, I always get numbers right next to each other. It's nice.
I mean, like, considering how the last one's gone, yeah. All right.
It's a theme so far.
Yep. Okay, with that, you push as hard as you can on the crowbar, and you can hear the wheel grinding against itself, the whole squeak sort of thing. You only manage to get it to move like a couple of degrees around. It's definitely not fully open, but you've now tried with all your strength, and for now, without some sort of extra help, this thing is stuck.
You two want to grab onto this and give me a little extra help?
Sure,
I don't know how much help that would be.
I can try pulling with my one hand while I still have it,
Yeah?
not against it.
That's
I
okay.
don't know how much help I will be, but I can try.
Alright, if all three
Can
of you...
you
Yeah, if all
Can
three of
you
you are
try-
working together with teamwork, let's get a strength roll from all of you. Not with advantage, just one from each of you guys. And then there's the fucking nat 20 from Bubba.
It's the power. It's the
That's
power of friendship.
Power of friendship and teamwork, yep.
Surely cooperation.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
was an 8 from Selli and a 15 from Iaz, by the way. And I think, yeah, with that, obviously, yeah, it just needed that little bit of an extra pull of having your friends working with you as well. Because again, that's kind of gets stuck for a moment and then... And the thing just goes... And the wheel easily opens up and the hatch is now unlocked. And yeah, you guys can push it open and head up if you want.
I want to point out that Eos was probably pulling with his ears as well.
Oh, I love
Nice.
that.
Should we be
That's
worried about the supposed monster outside? You know, from the announcement.
As long
I'll
as we're
take-
careful.
I'll take a quick, careful look. How about that?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you push up the hatch and you look outside. And at first, most of what you can kind of see is just black. You think it's maybe night and your eyes haven't adjusted yet. And then you realize, no, there has got to be some sort of light because you can easily see the dark grey metal of what the train is made of. You can kind of see along the roof of this carriage, and as you look into the distance, you can see the train stretching out and out and out in one direction. And you look around the other side and it stretches out and out and out until it just disappears in the other direction too. It seems like it goes on forever. And you have another look at that supposed night, and then you realize, no, when you look up at the sky at night, you still see something. There's still stars, there's still these tiny bits of light. It still feels like there is some sort of a roof over your head, even if the roof is just the sky. Here, however, it's nothing. It's just a gaping black void of absolutely nothing that seems like it's sucking as much light as possible into its depths. And the train is traveling through that.
That's atmospheric.
No monsters yet, though, huh?
Nope. Do you want to roll me a quick perception check, though?
You know, I think I will. I think that might be in my best interests.
Yeah, probably a good idea. That's a 12.
Got a 12.
Alright, with that, yeah, as far as you can tell, you do not see any monsters. You do, however, get the barest glimpse of a bunch of colourful moving dots in the distance, seem to be traveling along the roof of the train, like several carriages along.
Just colorful dots. Can't really make anything else out about them.
Not really.
Well, I will relay what I have seen down to them. That's kind of just darkness in all directions and train in 2 directions and some colorful dots on their way.
I very much hope those colorful dots are not monsters.
Me too,
I
buddy.
don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
How do we
Well-
get off the train, though?
Presumably we go to the engine and
Okay,
hopefully someone could pull the brake.
that sounds like a good idea. Bubba's gonna look one way down the train, then the other way down the train. Which way do you think the engine is?
Good question.
Hmm.
Can Selli have a look?
Yeah, roll perception.
Bubba will kind of scoot to the side so they can poke out of the hatch too.
Ah,
That's a crit
she
fail.
does not perceive.
No, I think with a crit fail, like, you kind of get distracted from looking up and down the train, and you kind of just find your attention sucked into that black void because, that's just a tiny bit intimidating, and you don't really pay any attention to anything else.
She's just sort of like, oh, void. And she's actually going to lean slightly closer to Bubba because she's a little unnerved.
Hmm.
You really are very small compared to all of this.
She's very small.
Yeah, because one thing I want to put out that Bubba would have noticed, you not so much. Like, each of the carriages, as you look along the roof of the carriage, it seems like each of them is about the size of a fucking football field, except, taller as well. And the hatch is only like one small thing in the center of each carriage, and again, each of these football field-sized carriages just keep going into the distance, and then you have that gaping void which is all encompassing. So y'all are really tiny.
Seems like.
Lily's going to cast light. She doesn't like it.
Yeah, as you have like this little light bobbing alongside you now, yeah, it just kind of, you've lit up the area around you. The dark grey metal of the train now has a slightly nicer glow around you, so it feels a little bit warmer and safer. It does nothing to stop the void, I do apologise. Yes, how are you doing?
Seeing how small they are, he just, I guess he sticks out his head as well to look around, but not that much of a perception roll, and he just says, makes you think how we are all small and insignificant in a great scheme of things. Also, can you, Selli, can you try to do the compass hand again and make it point to the engine?
Oh, that'd be smart.
Oh, yes, yeah, I could give it a try. I need to find that spell again.
Bubba quietly hoping it's not in the direction of the weird lights that might be the monster.
Guiding hand, there it is.
Yeah.
Do I have to roll anything? No, it just happened. Okay. So she's going to tell it to point to the engine and
Yeah.
cast a spell.
Much to Bubba's chagrin, no doubt, it does indeed point into the direction of the little colourful dots and everything that seem to be moving towards you. And in the time that it's taken since you last checked, it looks like maybe it's a bunch of, because of how they're moving around, it looks like maybe it's a bunch of people of all different colours and sizes and shapes. It's still really in the distance, so they're hard to make out specifically, but it seems like a group of people. And that's the direction the hand is pointing in.
I mean, it's starting to look like maybe that's just a bunch of other people who figured their way out of the carriages. Maybe we
We're
should
not
go.
alone on this.
Yeah, maybe we should go introduce ourselves. Maybe it ain't so bad up here.
If we'll catch up to them.
As long as we're careful going, the announcement did say to mind the gap.
of course. Bubba will climb the rest of the way out of the hatch and hold it open.
Yep, you guys are standing on the roof of the train now.
At least being a football field-sized carriage, it's not going to be narrow enough to fall off if we stay in the middle.
Yeah, there's plenty of space for you guys to like avoid the edges of it, so you don't go falling into the void.
All right.
I don't know how to go above the gap, but for now I suggest that with each carriage we move to, how about we, just to be sure, just to be safe, open up each escape hatch to hide if the monsters comes.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Oh, and it might help anybody who is in those carriages too.
Also a good point.
Alright, so are you guys heading towards the engine, like with where the hand pointed to the engine / the group of people?
Yeah, I
Bubble.
think so.
Bubble, lead the way, crowbar in hand.
Alright, are there any last things you kind of want to say to each other during this, or shall I do the kind of wrap up for the end of the episode?
No, I'm good.
No, I think.
Yeah, alright. In that case then, as you guys start heading towards the group of people, yeah, you get a bit closer and you guys will see that it is a massive motley crew of toons and Muppets and real kind. You've got some humans, you've got like there's one person there that seems to be some sort of elephant person. You've got a whole bunch of people. There's probably close to like 50 or 60 of them now walking along each of these carriages, and as soon as you get in sight with them, you get plenty of them waving at you, trying to get you over there. And we zoom out as you meet up with this group, and you are happily pulled and given lots of hugs as you are met with these hundreds of other passengers. And you continue along the train, and while they seem to be coming from the engine, they explain that they're not, like, there's nothing really for them at the engine. They're gonna go help out this friend, like this person that you heard on the announcement, this Oscar, because obviously there's something going on there, and at least if you're in a large group, it's pretty hard to split up 50 people. And with that, we slowly zoom out as you are welcomed in, and we fade to black as the episode ends, and you will continue your journeys another time. For now, that's the end of this session. Thank you for playing, everyone.
Hooray! Good time. Good time.
Oh, that was great.
That was great.
Amazing.
I'm so proud of you for
Beautiful.
solving that second door puzzle so quickly. Like, oh my god.
I just wanted to check, you know? I was like, wait a second, that door's not getting any closer. Is the other door getting further away? And then it did.
It was a fantastic guess, I've got to say. You three were so good. I've got to say, this is probably the chillest session I've done in ages. I really liked it.
Oh, Selli is not about chaos. It's very different from every single one of my other characters.
Oh.
She's nobility. She's not an adventurer.
Oh, I love it.
We come up with all of this.
I love you three. You guys were so good. Did everyone have fun?
I had a great time.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad to hear it.
And thank you for doing it so early in the morning so I could
No,
play.
it's okay. Again, like I do try and vary up the times if I can, just so everyone can actually join in. For now, I need food. I think Respawn probably needs sleep, don't you?
At some point. I'll probably be up for maybe another hour or two, but then I'll probably hit the hay.
Yeah, that's
Am
fair.
I the only one
Yeah.
who has the time, who has the normal time, like 14:30?
Yeah, it's 11:30 for me, so like I haven't had proper breakfast yet, which is what I need to go get.
Oh,
But yeah, anyway,
no, eat.
for now, before I stop the recording, does everyone want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you next time.
Thank you.